Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Christian Alpha Podcast. Thank you for joining us again tonight. One of the things I want to talk about is financial independence as it pertains to Christian men of today, and specifically want to talk about starting a business. One of the things that I constantly harp on, whether it's to my clients or to the young men that I mentor, is financial independence. That's a high priority, should be a high priority under any circumstances for any man who has to provide for a family, but especially so in the times in which we live, in which men are under attack in general, and specifically Christian men are under severe attack, as we all know. And if you go out into the marketplace and you embody and uphold Christian principles, as an employee, you can have a tough time, and circumstances, you read the writing on the wall, circumstances are only getting harder and worse and more severe. And I don't think it's unthinkable to look 10, 15, 20 years down the line and see a market environment, in which Christian employees are really having a tough time. Those employees who stand up for their beliefs and their principles, you could foresee them having a tough time operating in an environment as an employee. And so, like I said, I think that's just the writing on the wall. I think we're wise to look ahead and see those potential pitfalls and plan accordingly. And one of the ways that you can guard against that, protect yourself against that, ensure your financial future is to work now to establish financial independence. There are many ways to do that. You can save, you can invest, you can develop, different streams of income. Certainly one of I think the most effective way of establishing your financial independence is starting your own business. And, when I say financial independence, that can mean a lot of different things, even in the context in which I use it. But here specifically, I'm talking about not necessarily, game changer wealth, not necessarily retirement money. But when I say financial independence, I mean that you have a stream or streams of income which will provide for you and your family's basic needs consistently, based on your own efforts and your own systems, and which is not tied to any source of employment, which allows you to be your own boss, kind of call your own shots, and ideally to determine how much money you want to make. That to me, that combination of factors represents financial independence to me. Basically not being tied to a job. And again, from my perspective, from the Christian perspective, it's not necessarily, about not answering to a boss and having your own, being able to call your shots just to be able to say so. It's more about establishing a firm foothold that's going to provide for your family, even in the instance that the environment gets so bad that you really can't maintain a job at a company, or you find it very difficult. Or even if the economy just sinks, and your job is eliminated through no fault of your own, through no control of your own. So it's guarding against those types of things. And so, as I said, business ownership, it's not the only way to get to financial independence, but it certainly is the most common. It's the most effective. And unless you have a rich uncle somewhere, it's the most likely path to get you to financial independence fairly quickly. And so, 5 things that I would go over if you're considering a business, and I think nearly every man should consider that. 5 things I want to walk you through to help you through that process. So the first is choose the right business form. It's really important to get this right. You definitely should seek out the advice of a business attorney in your local area. I'm an attorney. I practice business law, but you'll want to find someone in your local jurisdiction who can walk you through this process, because it is a very important point, a very important choice that you'll make as you work to set up your business. So think through this carefully. You have various options depending on your state. Most states offer LLC, which is a limited liability company. That's a very popular business form. Most states offer, or all states, I should say, offer the corporation business type, which is fairly complex and fairly expensive to maintain. It's usually not right for most new businesses, especially smaller businesses. And then you always have the option of doing sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is where you just basically slap your name on a business and say, I'm open for business. Some states will require you to file what's called a DBA license, a doing business as license, to create a separate name for your business for sole proprietorships. But essentially, the business is you and you are the business. That form is very attractive to a lot of new business owners because it's so easy to set up. And it may work for you, especially for smaller businesses. But one of the things that it leaves out is limited liability, which is a really attractive feature for most business startups because it separates your business income and your business expenses and your business liability from your personal liability. If you're operating under sole proprietorship, in most cases, you don't have that protection. And so something goes wrong in your business, someone could come after your personal assets, whereas that's not the case with a limited liability company or a corporation. So those are some of the immediate things that come up in these new setups. So like I said, really good to do your research and if possible, speak with a local business attorney to kind of help you chart that path. The second thing is, and I'll kind of carry forward on the first point, is to get good legal help. As I said, I'm a business attorney, so I help local clients here in my area, but there are good business lawyers, hopefully in your area. And it's really, really important that you get good legal help from the beginning, because like I said, those legal decisions start coming in right away. Starting with the very first decision of your business name and your form of business. So from the beginning, find a good attorney. I know some people are scared off by the cost, but usually attorneys, even myself, we have clients ranging in size from major businesses all the way down to one-man shops, down to brand new businesses who don't have $1 million in the bank. So most attorneys like myself have different pricing tiers that we work with for the client. And very often, if sometimes I'll just work with a client just from the beginning and offer them a very attractive pricing scheme, just to help them out, just out of the kindness of my heart. But also, I want to establish relationships with these young or new business owners who may not be sizable at the time they come to me, but looking ahead, they may very well grow into something substantial and be a valuable client for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Most attorneys are going to think the same way. And so that's why I would, really consider talking with attorneys. They might be more affordable and more flexible than you might imagine. The next step is to find a good accountant. Very close second to getting a good attorney is a good accountant who's going to keep your books, maintain your tax issues, take care of those accounts, watch the numbers for you and let you know where you stand at the end of each quarter, at the end of each year. It's incredibly important, and it's incredibly easy to let those numbers get away from you and not track them. And before you know it, you're behind on things and you don't know where your business stands financially. So start with a good accountant. Number 4, get the human resources right. For many business owners, this won't really be an issue from the beginning because you may just be starting on your own. You may just be working with independent contractors. But even still, and this is where your attorney and your accountant can help you as well. But either at the beginning or when you do start hiring, make those choices very wisely. Put in your time, put in your research, because your HR and your people can certainly make or break your business. Finally, take care of the taxes. This is one thing that's tedious, and a lot of business owners either overlook or they don't get it right or they do it the wrong way. Again, this is where your attorney and your accountant can help you. That's why they're so important. but a lot of this is going to come down to your record keeping and your tracking as well. So think ahead on those things before you've even opened up the doors for business. Understand that taxes is going to be a very important part of running and maintaining your business. So those are some of the things that you can do to start thinking about your excursion into the business world, and think through each one of those. They're very important, and none of them has to be extraordinarily difficult for you to study, research, comprehend. All of these, once you get your handle on them, they can be mastered. Okay, and even though that's not your field of law or accounting or HR, you can master each one of these fields enough to help you start your business. So don't be overwhelmed by it. Don't be intimidated by it. Just do your research, speak to some people, seek out the help that you need, and you can be on your way to getting your business off the ground and obtaining your ultimate goal of financial independence. Thanks.